Hello, hello. Welcome back,
Hello.
Kalani. To anyone watching live, we Play Well Together. We Play Well Together is the exclusive North American distributor for Hokema Kalimbas, metal sounds, makers of handpans and tongue drums, and feeltone monochords and wood tongue drums. It's a certified woman-owned business based in California. Founder and CEO is Gabrielle Schwiebach. Hi, Gabrielle. We're so happy to be talking about you and your great products today. And I'm here live with Kalani Das of the World Drum Club. Welcome back, Kalani. Thank you so much for doing this partnership and collaboration together. It's been a lot of fun so far.
It's my pleasure. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of downtime, and we're here to talk about the community building that instruments can bring in our lives today, and also about our very good friend Brandon Blake, who will be featured on World Drum Club. From what I understand, Kalani, you've got an interview that's going to be coming out in a couple weeks with Brandon, and you got to meet him. So, what did you think? What did you think of Brandon Blake? He's a very distinctive character, isn't he?
It was great. I mean, the first thing is he's just so much fun and so positive and creative, and I think that was kind of my main impression. I mean, obviously he's doing a lot of stuff, cool things musically, but aside from that, and which is a lot, the music part's a lot. But aside from that, he's just a very loving guy, fun-loving and positive, and he puts out a lot of positive energy. So anybody who's looking for more of that in their life, go hang out with Brandon, if for no other reason. But there are a lot of other reasons. He's just doing a lot of very creative stuff, as you know, and we guess we'll see a little bit of what he's doing. Look for that on World Drum Club channel coming out in a couple weeks.
So in a moment, we're going to give you a preview and play a little demo video with Brandon, and then I'm going to give Kalani a throwdown because he is here live with his setup and does live looping. So we're going to do a tag team. Brandon establishes a rhythm, and then I'm going to ask Kalani to improve and elaborate on that rhythm, which I'm sure he'll do in amazing ways. So yeah, if you are just hearing this for the first time, we're offering a wellness percussion summer school with teacher Brandon, and we have a free mini video series. In a moment, I'm going to put that in the chat. Although if we have any of our We Play Well Together fans there, if you have that link you want to put in the chat, put that in the chat. But in a moment, I'll put it in the chat too, and we're going to put that under the video of this video. And it's a free series of short videos where Brandon gives you some really easy, basic, but fun ways to practice rhythms with a specific focus of self-care. And Brandon's story is really unique. He is a brain injury survivor and had to relearn a lot of things. And while that's been a big challenge and continues to be a challenge, I think that it also has given him certain gifts in that he thinks outside the box. So some of these instruments, I think we showed a little bit in our live stream last month how he will take the chimes and play them percussively, drumming on the cylinder, activating the tines within the chime, and doing things that many of us don't think about because we think there's only one way to play an instrument. And so creative folks can inspire us to turn things upside down and play them in all the different ways that we might not normally play an instrument. So I see there's a couple of folks here in our live stream. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your comments or questions. Hi, Roseanne. Thanks for being back. Oh, there's Gabrielle. And we've got, yeah, another note from Roseanne. Great. So let's play this video, and we're gonna do the live comment on the video like we do. And this is, just to let everyone know, this is part of our free mini series where at the end Brandon comes and he gives a little demonstration on all the different instruments. But this is a special edit that I made just for this live stream. So this is different. It has a little bit more than what you see on that mini training. So that's special just right here. Okay, you ready, Kalani? We're gonna play this.
So that's the Tinkatong?
That is the Tinkatong by Feeltone. It's a wood tongue drum.
Hi friends, my name is Brandon Blake and I want to tell you a little bit more about me. I'm a bass player. I studied gamelan music, which guides a lot of how I play my instruments today. I'm a brain injury survivor. I'm a preschool teacher. Animals are my love. Also, my love is sharing joy with all of you. And I am very, very excited for our class on wellness percussion that we're going to be doing together this summer. I've had a long-time partnership with the We Play Well Together family. These instruments that are distributed by We Play Well Together are really the central part of how my wellness journey has been going for the last 7 years. These instruments have fundamentally changed my life, my brain injury recovery, my mental health, my struggle with anxiety and depression. These analog instruments have really helped me for my wellness and my own self-care. So we're going to be doing a live interactive course on Zoom. Now, some people have seen this course and said, Brandon, this course just isn't for me. I don't have any of those instruments. Well, you don't need all of or any of these instruments for you to be a part of this course. This course is designed for you to take the percussive patterns and the skills that we learn together and apply them to any percussive instrument that you may have. Drums, gongs, anything with mallets, singing bowls, and we're gonna send everybody a free shaker so you and I have the same instruments that we can actually work on these rhythms with. This is a little handmade one I made, but we're gonna send you a nice little wooden one. That way we're all gonna have the same instruments and we can learn patterns together to apply on any of our percussion instruments. I'll be playing sansulas. Wooden tongue drum. Idiopan.
That's the green earth one.
Chimes. Kalimbas. Monochords. Talk about self-care. Now I want to show you a little bit about how I'm going to take one rhythm and play them on a variety of instruments from We Play Well Together for us to hear how different they sound when they're played with different materials like hands or mallets, or whether it's a synthetic head or strings or wood or metal. We're going to hear how they sound through the voice of all of these unique, amazing instruments. And I'm then going to show you a few combinations of these instruments as they sound together and what kind of things can be made when we take instruments that are tuned together and play in their own unique voices as if they were their own little band. And check this out.
Okay, this is the groove, Kalani.
Okay.
of the greatest things about these instruments is that they're all designed to fit together. They do play well together.
Did we mention he's fun and kind of a goof?
I love that he's just grooving, you know. Yeah,
So that's
I love
it.
that he shows the enjoyment, you know.
All right. So you up for my throwdown to create a
Sure,
loop based
yeah.
on that groove? Can't wait. All right.
Yeah,
And
that would be fine. So just taking that kind of basic rhythm.
yeah. So it's like ticka.
That.
Yeah. Ticka ticka taka ticka ticka taka ticka 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 taka ticka ticka taka.
Sure. Yeah, just do a little live looping. And for those of you who have the question, because people always ask, I'm using the Boss RC505 MK2 loop station. Yeah.
And
I like to start with
some of our audience is wanting a looping class. So it's something we might be putting into plans in the future. How to
That's
loop.
right.
So yeah.
That's true. All right.
All right.
I like to start my loops with something steady though, so I'm going to use this sweet little rattle shaker
I'm gonna give you.
to get going. All right. Thanks, you guys. That was kind of fun.
Woo!
So I was playing the handpan, the kalimba, the tinkatong, my little shakers, and yeah, pretty fun.
Hey, sorry.
And that's yeah. Hopefully the
Pregnant
groove was
pause.
coming through on that.
No, that was great. I was playing it on the YouTube, and then I realized, oh no, I've got both on. I've got to mute and then come back and that was hot. I was singing and dancing along, and eventually in this series we're gonna hook up our sound so we can do some stuff together, even if we're not perfectly in sync. I think if you do the long tones like it would work.
Yeah.
Over that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was definitely, oh, and Roseanne was playing along with her kalimba too. Thank you, Roseanne. Awesome. Yeah.
Because we have the aqua, don't we? So this is, you want to mention this is the set, the ones that I have anyway, is like the aqua set. D minor.
Yeah. So we play well together. Our latest endeavor is putting together musical instrument packages. And that's based on customer asks. We have so many people reach out and say, I have a this, what plays well with this? And what works well, what's going to be harmonious. And so we've done the work where we figured out what instruments play well together, and we can, one, custom tune kalimbas. You see there's a kalimba on the screen there. So those little tines can actually be tapped up or down. So if you have a special handpan or a special tuning and you want your kalimba to match, we can actually do that for you. It's just a little bit of an extra fee, but we can do that and send it to you tuned. You can also buy your own little tuning tool, and you can tune it up or down or change the tuning whenever you want. And so that's pretty fun. But we also have these pre-matched sets that are in different configurations. And so the D minor set is the water set, and that's based on the popularity of the Koshi chimes. Kalani, do you have a Koshi with you? Hanging over your head?
Right up here.
I saw you look up. Oh, that's where it is. That's where it lives.
I have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those chimes, it's a bamboo tube, and they have these little metal dowels inside, and then a dangling glass bead. And so that glass bead goes around, and it's got a little sail on the bottom that helps navigate it. You can kind of see in there how that glass bead then taps. Yeah, it taps against those different little metal tines in there. And this is such a wonderful entry-level instrument because you can buy it, take it out of the box, and jingle it, and you are a sound maker instantly. So people love it. That being said, Brandon has come up with these really innovative ways of playing both that chime and the Zaphir chime. The Zaphir chime is a similar make. It's a little bit taller, and the tines are a little bit longer, and it comes in different colors, so it has a different aesthetic. But it's the same concept. It has a glass bead that hits against these metal dowel, and you can play it by drumming on the side of the cylinder, which then jiggles that little bead. And you can also reach in, especially in the Zaphirs, because those tines are longer, you can reach in with your finger and you can pluck them. It's a little bit harder on the Koshi. You can only usually reach 2 or 3 of them because they're a little bit shorter. But you can pluck it and then play those as like individual melody notes. And Brandon does this thing where he's creating a bass line on those metal tines, which is pretty fun because he's a bass player, so he has that way of playing them like they're a bass line. Fun stuff. So those Koshi chimes are very, very popular, and they have 4 different tunings that are based on the elements, but of course the elements are an energy, right? They're not a specific tuning, so it's more that they have organized these 4 tunings with an elemental theme, and because they're so popular, we have sets that match those. But basically, it's a D minor chord, and that, for those who are musically inclined, you know what that is. It is, it's a minor chord, a little bit melancholy, and so the instruments that we have are all notes within that minor chord world, and they all go together. And we also have sets that are in 440 hertz as well as 432 hertz, because that's what the Koshi chimes are tuned to. And it is also what a lot of the meditation folk, the sound healers, have instruments that are tuned to 432 hertz. Now, I'm of the mind and belief that any sound can be healing or harming, and that there's no such thing as magic frequencies. But I do think that if you've already invested in a crystal bowl set to the tune of thousands of dollars and it's oriented to 432 hertz, then you would want to get other instruments that are tuned in the same way so that they will all sound harmonious together. And if you are more in the jam scene, or if you're a pro or semi-pro musician or a hobby musician and you have musical instruments that are tuned to 440, it's best to have other instruments that are tuned to 440 hertz, which is, of course, cycles per second. It's a calibration. Anything to add to that, Kalani? Did I explain the water grouping?
I think you said it really well. And just so folks know out there, I don't know if you do or not, some people do, some people don't, but 440 is the international tuning standard.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind when you're buying instruments.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have your own scene, your own business, your own practice, and you love the 432, then yeah, keep investing in that and just do that. But they will sound a little out of tune when you put them together. That's the only thing. They don't. Ironically, those two don't actually play very well together.
They don't. Although the Koshi chimes, because they are in 432 hertz, but they create more of a soundscape, this jingling together. So that works. It doesn't work so well when you have a handpan or you have these tongue drums where the pitches are very distinctive on their own, and you want them to be in the right tuning. And we're hoping to have chimes in the future that are in 440 as well. So look out for that.
Yeah, nice. And you can retune, of course, the monolinis, monochords. You can tune those to any. So some of the instruments are flexible. And I was even going to mention for my native flute friends out there, if you have a Native American flute, if you just blow a little softer, more gently, use less air pressure, it actually will flatten the flute to match like a 432 instrument. So there's ways that you can still play the instruments together and have that crossover area in the Venn diagram of 440 on one side, 432 on the other side, but there's a lot of stuff in the middle there. So the groups are great. The groupings are fantastic. The elemental groupings for people that either don't know about like music theory and scales, or you just don't want to deal with it. You don't have to deal with it. You can just say, okay, give me all these fire instruments because I'm a fiery person. I love the sound of that, or give me the water stuff. Yeah, ship it all over and you have a whole set that goes together. So I think it's nice.
Yeah, but also for trained musicians. So I have a master's in music, and we tested this concept earlier in 2023 at the San Francisco Conservatory of Music with our friend Matt Levine, who is a professor, composer there, and he's well known for composing for video games, and they compose for symphony orchestras and very elaborate, beautiful work that they're doing there. But he's also into mindfulness, and we brought these sets of instruments to work with these very, very high caliber musicians, singers, and composition majors, and they loved this concept of forgetting about the scales and the chords and being able to focus on the timbre, the quality, the sound layering, and the rhythms. When you take away some aspect of music, it frees up your creativity in other ways. So that was a really great proof of concept. And I would say for any composers or music makers that are listening, songwriters, sometimes it can be a great creativity tool to reduce the amount of things that you can create with, because the reduction of that can sometimes generate more creativity because you have to deal with what you have in front of you.
It's a little bit like the minimalist movement in as much as you're just simplifying things, and then the things that are left, you can focus more on them. And let's also remember that the vast majority of music made in the world is a pentatonic or 5-note scale, or at least maybe modal, and not chromatic, not the 12-tone Western scale. So a lot of the music, ironically, a lot of the music that people in our society gravitate towards, even just very simple, like a single singing bowl or something, and chanting, a lot of this stuff is based on those very simple and not to make, and it doesn't make it any less, profound or musical, but it's based on a smaller collection of notes rather than trying to have the whole shebang.
Yeah, and it's a less
freezes.
opportunity for dissonance. So when we reduce the number
Right.
of notes, we have more
Yeah.
harmonious combinations, and so it's more harmonious in general. And
Yeah.
but there's a place for dissonance too. There's sometimes we want to have dissonance in musical composition, but with meditation music or when we want to kind of get into a groove or into a zone, it's nice to take those opportunities for dissonance away so that we have more consonant choices before it.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, we're going to keep this a little short today, Kalani, but I also wanted to share that I just got back from a women's handpan retreat, and it was a lot of fun. It was the second time they've offered this event, and it's kind of in my backyard, just a couple hours north of the Hudson Valley in the Catskills Mountains here in New York. And yeah, great fun to be with women outdoors, camping in the elements around a campfire with handpans. And if you all have never experienced a handpan jam, I highly encourage you to find a handpan gathering, a handpan festival, because it's like no kind of jam you've ever been to before. It's so soft. A lot of these drum circles, everyone's trying to out drum or do the cool rhythm. Like I can do the polyrhythm accent. And it becomes a little bit of a competition. And I find that in the handpan world, but especially when it's women with handpans, there's just this gentle sound, and you've got the handpan in front of you, but maybe just tap it really gently so we can hear what this sounds like. Yeah, so imagine that just played really gently by a group of 30 people around a campfire. These little gentle, it sounds like rain. It really is, yeah. So these instruments in particular are really wonderful for creating community, and that's what they're doing all over the world. As someone gets a handpan and then they want to have other handpan players to play with, and it starts with 2 or 3 people, and then it grows to these different gatherings, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a real meaningful way to be together with other people where you're not bonding through talking or ideas, but about and through making music together. So maybe you could give us a short little jam just to take us out with that in mind.
Of course, sure. And maybe I'll use some of the stuff I have in the looper. But yeah, I just to reiterate some of what you were saying, community music making. It's a non-verbal connection. And it is a conversation, and it's a dialogue, and we can support one another in music, and we can be supported in music. And a lot of people like that. They like to go and feel that because it's real. Music happens in the air. It connects us all in the air. And like this handpan, I like how it's curved like this. There's like a sound bubble. And imagine all these are the people around the outside, but the sound is doing this, and it's encompassing everybody like a big hug, a big music sound hug. And then we just have our individual voices, and then we can add together. And there can be tension for sure, but then it can resolve. Thanks for having me again. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you, Kalani. Everyone, please watch Kalani Das on World Drum Club on YouTube. Join him on Patreon if you want to learn some of the deep stuff that he teaches only on his Patreon side, the secrets. And please come over to We Play Well Together. If you haven't visited before, you have an option to add your email to get 10% off of many things, including handpans, if you were wanting to get your first handpan. And join us for the Wellness Percussion Summer School with Brandon Blake at We Play Well Together. We've got a free mini training. We also have a free intro on June 25th. So you can come hang out with us. We would love to have you. And I think that's it for this week. I'm just going to groove out. Thanks, everybody.
Groove out, everybody.
Groove
Enjoy.
out.
Have a great weekend.